Cancelled.
Schweezy.
All right, this is our article we got from Variety, one of my favorite people, and by favorite people, I mean people who are so fucking weird they interest me. Gwyneth Paltrow rejects Nepo baby term because there's nothing wrong with doing what your parents do. It's an ugly moniker. Gwyneth Paltrow briefly entered the Nepo baby discourse in January when she commented on Instagram post of Hailey Bieber's wearing a shirt with the moniker on it and wrote, "I might need a few of these." Now Paltrow, the daughter of actor Blythe Danner and director-producer Bruce Paltrow, and who is an Oscar winner in her own right, entered the discourse more forcefully by telling Bustle the term Nepo baby is an ugly moniker. Now there's this whole Nepo baby culture and judgment that exists around kids of famous people. Paltrow said when her 19-year-old daughter Apple got brought up, she's really just a student and she just wants to be a kid and be at school and learn. But there's nothing wrong with doing or wanting to do what your parents do. Nobody rips on a kid who's like, I want to be a doctor like my dad and granddad, Paltrow continued. The truth is, if you grow up in a house with a lot of artists and people making art and music, that's what you know. The same way, if you grow up in a house of law, the discussion around the table are about the nuances of whatever particular law the parents practice. I think it's kind of an ugly moniker, she continued about Nepo baby term. I just hope that my children always feel free to pursue exactly what they want to do, irrespective of what anybody's going to think or say. The term, short of for nepotism baby, went viral in late 2022 due to a New York magazine cover story on the topic. It prompted many actors who are the children of actors to speak out on the matter. Kate Hudson, the daughter of actor Goldie Hawn, and Bill Hudson shrugged off the term in an interview with The Independent. The nepotism thing, I mean, I don't really care, Hudson said. I look at my kids and we're a storytelling family. It's definitely in our blood. People can call it whatever they want, but it's not going to change it. I actually think there are other industries where it's more common, Hudson continued. Maybe modeling. I see it in business way more than I see it in Hollywood. Sometimes I've been in business meetings where I'm like, wait, whose child is this? Like, the person knows nothing. I don't care where you come from or what your relationship to the business is. If you work hard and you kill it, it doesn't matter. Jamie Lee Curtis, the daughter of actor Tony Curtis, and Janet Leigh posted on Instagram around the same time that the Nepo baby discord is designed to hurt. I have been a professional actor since I was 19 years old, so that makes me an OG Nepo baby, Curtis wrote. I've never understood, nor will I, what qualities got me hired that day, but since my first 2 lines on Quincy as a contract player at Universal Studios to this last spectacular creative year, some 44 years later, there's not a day in my professional life that goes by without my being reminded that I am the daughter of a movie star. The current conversation about Nepo babies is just designed to try to diminish and denigrate and hurt. When asked about the term for a recent Variety cover story, Ethan Hawke, the father of actor Maya Hawke, quipped, put simply, I'm a Nepo dad, and I'm not embarrassed about that. So I guess we have to talk about Nepo babies. Now, I don't even really necessarily want to talk about Gwyneth Paltrow. I'm like, she's weird, but I also feel like she's a good hang, you know? I feel like she's a fun hang. Like, you hang out with her, it's like, so yeah, my company Goop, we have this thing where it's like slugs, they suck the cum out of your balls or something like that. You're like, okay, well, I'm not necessarily interested in trying it, but I'm more interested in hearing about what you're doing. It's kind of, you think it's stupid, but like you're also like friends with this person, so you're kind of like, let me just pique my interest. But yeah, one reason I really think, and I think this topic is really coming up, and I've been kind of interested in this topic, I think it's just more of my like jaded self, My parents are, my dad was a track and cross country coach at a D2 school, specifically a D2 school that focuses a lot more on academics than like how good are you at sports and stuff like that. And not saying like they're bad athletes or anything, It's just probably they're going to go into, if like a lot of them are maybe going into coaching, and so that's a good thing. But a lot of other people are probably not. They're just doing it, for some scholarship money and stuff like that. And so I, as someone who is a musician, I think about it a lot, and I've been thinking about how like popular and how Taylor Swift has gotten so mega in these past couple of years, like since reputation, how everyone just like, fuck that bitch, I hate her, to like, oh my gosh, if she farts, I'm gonna lose my mind. This is so amazing, and shit like that. So, and you don't know that Taylor has rich parents, even though she pretends to come from like small farm town origins and stuff like that. She has a rich dad, and the thing is, she's not a Nepo baby, but she can technically be considered an industry plant, which I think Nepo, that's kind of like the popular slang for like a Nepo baby. It's just like, oh, someone created this in like, almost like, it feels like it was created in like a lab, and
This is America, you dumb son of a bitch, okay?
And so it's just like, it kind of just ruins the whole idea where it's like people are self-made in the world, and it's just kind of like a reality shatter broken, and it's making me kind of jaded thinking about how we're at a point where it's like, no one's really self-made anymore, and I'm just like, as me struggling with my career, like the self-made people do exist, and like, and I'm trying to like, and I'm really trying to focus like what art I consume. A lot of it, you can't get away from it all the time, but I try, at least, especially with like the music I listen to, I'm trying more to not listen to Nepo babies or industry plans, and really trying to focus on actual self-made artists, because they're the ones who really deserve your attention, not like some rich kids like getting, like, I don't want to be a singer, and so now they're singers and stuff like that. And so, yeah, so I don't think there's anything wrong, and I think what Gwyneth Paltrow is trying to say here is like, just because I went into the same career field as my parents shouldn't be a bad thing. And no, that is definitely not a bad thing at all. Like, I don't know, people, you live in a house where you have two adults interested in one thing, and then you're around it all the time, you kind of, you just spark an interest for it. That's just,
this is the type of guy you get.
And that's not a big deal. The problem is, like, sometimes you have like parents who play gigs and stuff like that, but they may work like a day job too, but they're also pretty good musicians and have a cool stuff like that. So you think about that, like, yeah, I'm interested in music because my dad was interested in music, but your dad's not necessarily a celebrity. But things with like this is like, they're getting their career because of their parents. That's the real problem. Like, I think, did Nicolas Cage, he went with Cage because I think his real last name is like Coppola or something like that, and that's a big famous acting family, for those of you who don't know. And I think a lot of artists, like, they will change their last names just so you don't know, like, oh, they're related to each other. I think Feinstein, Jonah Hill's sister, it's not Queenie Feinstein. Why do I think her name's like Queenie or something like that? Like she didn't try to build her career off of that. I remember I saw Hank Williams Jr.'s daughter at the Grand Ole Opry, and they're like, this is her first show ever, and it was terrible, because your first show should not be at the Grand Ole Opry. Your first show should be in the shittiest place possible, with no one there. Like, that's what your first gig should be. If your first gig is the Grand Ole Opry, like, you are 100% just a Nepo baby, and like, you need to check your privilege at the door. I think it's just more or less just like rich kid privilege is what it comes down to. And like, there's some people who are working, and I have like just tons of friends working so hard in music career, and they're making some of like the most badass music I've ever heard in my life. And then just like some kid with rich kids' parents are like, they just get successful just because their parents have money. It's just an unfair. I just think at the end of the day, with this Nepo baby discourse, what we all want is just an even playing field for everyone. I think at the end of the day, that gets political, and I guess that's why I have socialist leanings, is that I think everyone should have like be at the same starting line when it comes to anything in life. Like, I just feel like, like, my parents helped me go to college and stuff like that, but not everyone's parents are able to figure that out for them, and so I think everyone, should at least just have the same starting point. And it's just like, what you do in your life and how you decide to be disciplined and how you decide to have a work ethic should determine that stuff. It shouldn't be determined by your rich parents. So I could go on. We could do a whole ass hour and a half. We're almost like a 2-hour podcast these days on this, but nevertheless, he persisted, and nevertheless, I will continue. Thank you for watching this clip.